Get ready for disaster.
I think there's something wrong with my game here. Whoa!
Yeah, who's ready? Yeah, I decided to go over the entirety of the Gran Turismo library. Gran Turismo is PlayStation's pride and joy that first appeared on the PlayStation back in 1997, and it was praised for having the highest quality car models by using cool tricks. Even though this is impressive, I had to say, boy, this hasn't aged well.
So do people. Now how does that feel?
When talking about any Gran Turismo game, it's almost like talking about a Just Dance game or even a sports game. You have one game and then another one comes out, so now your $50 or so feels kind of pointless.
Don't start.
Now, of course, we need to make sure we have the proper materials for talking about a series for the first time. Time to dust off the old PlayStation to get the original experience. I don't know what I was expecting. Gran Turismo 1 is fine. I wouldn't play this today due to the color green distracting me a bit too much. The analog mode keeps turning off on me and the D-pad is a bit stiff for my liking, but I am sure it'll be fixed in the next game. Other than that, overall, the game is perfect. Can I think of anything else wrong? It's not Mario Kart.
I need to stop.
It's neat driving a car that you don't own. Oh wait, that's stealing. It's neat driving a car in a video game. The whole simulation mode is really neat, but it forces you to get licenses in order to race and earn money, or you can just ignore all of that and play the arcade. Arcade mode is for the multiplayer and quick hop in and out sections. I'm sure the next game is going to be improved in every way possible, right? Hopping this in the way I have it, seems like everything is okay, but when you look closer,
That's different from what was advertised.
yeah, the main issue is that they separated this one into two different discs. One for arcade and the other for simulation. Yeah, getting this game, I thought, well, this isn't Gran Turismo, it's lacking in the simulation. Really, nothing has changed outside the menus and cars and tracks. All I see in this one is just an add-on to the first game. You can even transfer your Gran Turismo 1 saves to Gran Turismo 2. Overall, the second one was fine. It felt like the first game in many, many ways. Well, that was the last Gran Turismo game for the first PlayStation. On to the PS2. Don't. Gran Turismo 3 was taking so long they grabbed an early build of the game and made a demo out of it called Gran Turismo 2000. I bought a 360 because I thought it was funny. I'm trying to stretch this as long as I can. Feels a little bit too short for my liking. The Gran Turismo 2000 is just a little bit too short for me to consider even a retail game. It only lets me choose one car, which is very strange, and it pops you into a race without really any explanation at all. For the concept games on PS2, I'm going to compile them all together, since there are so many I can sum up in one sentence. The launch of both systems, it kind of just feels like a showcase for cars in the future, filling the gap between games rather than being an actual release to the series. Gran Turismo 3 was honestly okay. The game is now looking really solid and not stuck on the PS1, and same thing for Gran Turismo 4. These both control really smoothly and have beautiful landscapes. And honestly, both are really great to play today. Gran Turismo 4 Prologue was also released to fill the gap and to show the possible future of Gran Turismo games. Not in America though, because we didn't like that many demos. Both Gran Turismo 3 and 4 feel like they've really done great. I feel like they could have even done this on PS3 if they wanted to, just port it over. Does this float your boat? They released Gran Turismo HD concept for PS3, and it feels like an updated PS2 game with high definition visuals. But this was released right at the early years of the PS3, so that's to be expected. And nothing really wrong with that. Gran Turismo 5 releasing in 2010, it took them until 2010 to make a full Gran Turismo game on the PS3. The game honestly blows all expectations out of the water. The game feels really solid when playing it. The only complaint I have though is the controls being the same as the first game still. Every PS3 controller has full analog triggers, and they're ignoring that still. That's a new record. But honestly, I really like this one. One of the main features for this game is bringing your cars you've gotten on the PSP version of Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 5 originally started as a partial game with Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, but then turned up being into a full game. Seeing this game today, even though there are better games out now, it still feels amazing to play. Gran Turismo PSP is just weird. Nothing really wrong, it's like playing the PS2 version on the go, but sometimes it feels a bit off about it and I can't put my finger on it. Gran Turismo 6 is basically Gran Turismo 5 without the PSP support. Honestly, the only reason why I would see people playing this if they wanted the new cars and tracks. Gran Turismo Sport. Sony have absolutely outdone themselves here with this one. No more being held back by the bad control scheme, with the triggers being gas and brake now. Able to fit a whole lot more into the game since this game had constant updates over time, adding new cars and extra content. And also pushing the limits of what you can really do with this game, with VR support. The VR support's really odd. The whole reason for playing VR games is to immerse yourself into a new world. Other VR games do this very well, even knowing you're still in a living room setting. Gran Turismo Sport makes you feel like you need a specific way of playing to get that realistic feeling. You can still play with a PlayStation 4 controller, but ask yourself, are you really okay with it just good enough? Overall, I feel like this is really polished and possibly one of the best in my opinion. I feel like this one can pretty much be ported to PS5 and the game will still be totally fine.
You think that would ever happen?
Yeah, they decided to make Gran Turismo 7 for PS4 and PS5. When playing this game, it feels really close to Gran Turismo Sport. All previous cars have been brought over, but I haven't really paid much attention to the tracks. Even though this game has PS5 specific features like ray tracing, it still feels like Gran Turismo Sport. VR support is here too. This game on PS4 and having VR support, that's amazing! Only the PS5 version has the VR support, and that's restricted to the PSVR 2.
Yeah, pretty pathetic, right? Now, why did I do this? I don't know, I gave up a while back. So yes, we got done with the entirety of the Gran Turismo series, so what should we tackle next? Now this is gonna be impossible!